Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we are back to react to the latest news coming out of the Glasgow Rangers, and this week's Rangers rumour is absolutely scrumdiddlyumptious. And now I know yous are sitting there thinking, what English player are you going to speak about this week, CJ? Is it Daniel Sturridge? Is it James Milner? Is it Darius Vassell? No, it's none of that. In fact, it's going to be closer to home and something that we actually need. This week's Rangers rumour has been kind of sprinkling around the press, especially the last 24 hours. It's kind of all your sporting websites and your stuff like that Rangers are apparently interested in Mr. James Lawrence. Now, I know this one's completely out of the blue, pun intended, but James Lawrence's career at Anderlecht is severely in doubt after Vincent Kompany announced that he'd be returning as a player frickin' manager. And because of this reason, he's apparently linked with the Glasgow Rangers because we need a centre half. Anderlecht want to ship their centre halves off because they're absolutely stacked in that position, and that is how we have this week's Rangers rumour. But before we dive in and we give our thoughts on whether we believe this to be actually true, let's dive into James Lawrence's profile and see what we could possibly be getting if this rumour happens to be true. James Lawrence is 26 years old. He is a Welsh international sitting with 5 caps. Just recently he's been called up since the 8th of August this year, and he seems to be a mainstay in the Ryan Giggs Welsh side. In fact, fun fact, he played against Bonabir Barisic just a couple days ago. Wales did get beat 2-1, right enough. Now, James Lawrence is 26 years old. He has spent the majority of his time abroad, actually, and he's even came through the Ajax Academy, spending 2 years there. I mean, he spent time at Arsenal, he spent time at QPR, but just before he turned professional, he spent 2 years at Ajax Academy. Now, one of the best parts about this entire Rangers rumour is it's neither a winger or a midfield player. Yay, we did it! It's no longer a winger or midfield player. We didn't need to do that same discussion over and over again. Nah. James Lawrence is a 6'2" centre half who is naturally left-footed. Now, as previously mentioned, the centre half does play for Anderlecht, and he only joined them last season for £450,000, and in that entire season he played 35 games, scoring 1 goal, assisting 1 goal, and only being involved in 9 clean sheets out of 35 games. Mars just clenched. But it has to be said, when you go and look at his games played, not every single one of those 35 games were starts. In fact, if you actually go on the Anderlecht website and you look at the last 3 or 4 starting 11s, he wasn't a part of them. He was brought in for 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, which is very unusual for a centre half. But there has been a couple of occasions, where he was subbed on to play at left back as well. So it shows he's got a wee bit of versatility as well. But it is a wee bit worrying that he's not been able to break into the starting 11 for Anderlecht, who only finished 6th in the league last season. But that was just last season. Let's take a step back and look at his entire overall footballing CV. He sits with a very, very impressive 178 games, 10 goals by the way, which is extremely high for a centre half. He has 4 assists to his name, 14 yellow cards, and fun fact, he has never ever been sent off. Son, that will be very quickly changed if this rumour is true and he joins the famous. But that was just stats. That doesn't always tell you the entire picture. What kind of player is James Lawrence? Now, as always, I went and dived into the social media accounts, and it's been a bit of a difficult one to try and find fan reactions on him, because not many people online, obviously from Anderlecht, talk about James Lawrence, but the Welsh team actually rate him pretty damn highly as someone who's got great potential, and they're happy to be amongst the overall. Alright, maybe they're not happy. Now, paranormal activity aside, let's get back to James Lawrence then, shall we? His overall play style, I'd say, is very, very similar to how Connor Goldson plays, in my personal opinion. That's just from what I've seen him play. Tough, no-nonsense centre-back who can play the long ball if he's needed to. Obviously, that was something that was bred in him into the Dutch league style of football. But again, he's got that tough, nasty streak, and he can certainly dive in for a challenge if and when required. So if I was to akin him to one of the centre-halves that we have at the club just now, it'd certainly be on the Connor Goldson side rather than the Nikola Katic's. Now, as always, it's time to jump to the competition for places like we do about every single player that we speak about on the channel. And thankfully, as previously mentioned, it's not a winger, it's not a midfield player, it's the centre half, and that is what we need to start filling in. We need some depth at the centre half who's going to come in and play well. Not even just play well when required, but also push the 2 centre halves, Nikola Katic and Connor Goldson, just to give them something to think about, because if there's no one there, that's when you can sort of get, no, I wouldn't say lazy, but just comfortable, and you never ever want a player to be comfortable when he's playing for the Glasgow Rangers. You want him scrapping and fighting for that jersey on his back, and I certainly think James Lawrence and some of the other centre halves we'll speak about in the next couple of minutes will certainly push that void. Currently on the books overall, we've got Nikola Katic, and Connor Goldson. Yes, we've got Edmundson and some of the other younger players in the setup. Kyle Bradley was let go though. It is very, very shallow in the old depth chart at centre half, and it's definitely a position that we need to strengthen. But that was the player. Let's turn our attentions to the rumour itself. The rumour that's going around the Scottish press right now is that Rangers are gearing up for a £3 million bid. £3 million for a player that only cost £450,000 last season to join Anderlecht. Doesn't make it into the starting 11, isn't their number 1 or even their number 2 centre back at the club, and they've just brought in another world class centre half, pushing him down even further in the squad depth. This £3 million evaluation, I just genuinely didn't see it. Son genuinely doesn't feel right about this entire Rangers rumour. Yes, he ticks a lot of the boxes of what we need at the football club, but the £3 million evaluation just doesn't make any sense to me. But again, that's just my thoughts and opinions. What about you? Get yours down there in the comment section below. Do you, 1, would like to sign James Lawrence? Do you think he'd certainly improve the Glasgow Rangers team? But also, 2, do you believe this Rangers rumour to be true? And while you're getting your thoughts and opinions out there, I will give you mine, or summarise mine, because I've kind of hinted where I'm going with this one. James Lawrence, if it was up to me, yes, we would sign him, but for £3 million, no. And that leads me to number 2. Do I think this Rangers rumour is true? I genuinely don't. And now that me and thee have had their say, let's jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. There's been 660 votes already. Thank you so much for getting involved. 23% of the people votes for no, Rangers shouldn't sign him, but 77% of the people votes for yes, they would like James Lawrence to join the famous. So let's see what they've had to say. Roy O'Neill says, looks like a proper good player. Callum Bruce says, never heard of him. Well, hopefully today's video certainly helped. Mark Kelly says, I think it will be good for the overall defence. Scott Young says, big, tall, handsome. Aye, F it. Why no? Herrera. That's why. Sarah writes in, he could be a replacement for Joe Worrell. You're not selling me, Sarah. No, I'm joking. She also continues by saying he couldn't be called up and play for Wales if he wasn't a good defender. Thomas writes in, depth is key if we want to challenge in all competitions next season. I believe we should sign him. Andrew Reid writes in, we also need another defender. Katic and Goldson are our only centre back, so I think this one is a very good move. And the last one we'll read out comes from, why did Sadiq dive? And he writes in, far too expensive at 3 to 5 mil. Completely agree with Sadiq. Now, the second part of today's video is going to be something we haven't done on the channel before, which is actually quite mental when you think I've done nearly 1,000 videos dedicating the old life to the Glasgow Rangers. But I realised when I was talking about James Lawrence today that we have now spoken about 3 centre-halves that Rangers has been linked with this summer. And it genuinely just got me thinking, what centre-half would I rather have at the football club? If I could decide which centre-half would it be? And I thought, you know what, instead of me just answering it to myself and it going nowhere, now why not open it up and ask you guys, ask the nation, so we can all share our thoughts and opinions on it. Now, George Edmundson is 21 years old. He is the youngest out of them all. He's played 91 games. He has 3 goals and 5 assists under his belt, and apparently because of the transfer fee, he would be the cheapest round, costing around about £600,000. The second one would be John Souttar. Now, John Souttar, believe it or not, is still only 22 years old. He has played an absolute massive 187 games. 22 years old. That is madness. He also has 4 goals to his name and 7 assists as well. Now, it's never been confirmed how much John Souttar would cost, but it's believed to be around about £1 to £2 million. That's how much it would be to prize John Souttar away from Hearts. And the man we've just spoken about, James Lawrence, 26 years old. I'll recap it again in case you've already forgot. He's played 178 games. He has 10 goals and 4 assists. And again, if the rumours are to believe to be true, he would cost £3 million. So again, this is just a fun little question I just want to ask you guys, for the people that tune right to the very end. If you could pick any of them, who would it be and why? Now, for me personally, believe it or not, it wouldn't be George Edmundson, who I know Rangers are so keen on getting. It would actually be John Souttar. I mean, you just look how many games he's played at that age. Now, I'm not one of these guys that says, oh, because he's played Scottish football, he's got a leg up in the competition, because, I mean, Alfredo Morelos came for the Finnish league. Some of our best players comes from other leagues and they can adjust, but I just look at John Souttar and I just see something in him. He's just waiting on that big move to kick his career to the next level, because my dad always says you play better with good players on around you, and I think John Souttar's been a level of consistency in the SPFL for a long enough time now. He's just waiting for that next level so he can really kick on. I can just imagine him playing next to Connor Goldson, Nikola Katic, and I think he could play a very, very important role for the Glasgow Rangers. So if it was out of the 3, I would genuinely pick John Souttar. And I've also opened this question up and asked the people on Twitter as well. There's been 804 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. This poll is mental. 30% votes for Edmundson, 35% votes for James Lawrence, and the other 35% votes for John Souttar. That is mental. So you know what that means? The people cannot decide, so you guys have to decide down there in the comment section below. Out of the three, who should it be and why? And it pains me to say we have now reached the end of today's video. That's right, we're already there and gone. Hopefully you did enjoy this video enough to be hitting that like button. It helps it come up and other people's recommendations, and also subscribing if you're new. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, it just helps us, the nation, on our way towards 55k. I've been Siege9over92. Shout out to the absolute legends on the Patreon account supporting the channel week in and week out. If you would like to support the channel, the link for that is down there in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.